Hello and welcome back to the channel and the full playthrough of Oathsworn into the Deepwood. Last chapter, encounter, we are a little worse for wear. We had a full party wipe against the satyr. And, last encounter, we had a full party wipe against the satyr. And the Pentient Mimitare lost his Venerator plate, the freaking coolest armor in the damn world. So, bad shit happened. I don't think it could have gone any worse, but everybody got a injury except for Ranger, because his his injury was just was a cool looking score. He gained a defense token for this round. And that's about it. Let's get started with the next chapter, and hopefully it goes better than last time.
You finally arrive in Verum, scarred and weary from your journey through an unforgiving Deepwood. It was a long trek, but you have returned with the mendicants you were sent for. As you enter the city, horns blow and cheers go up from the crowds gathered to see the heroes of Bastone return along with their salvation from the plague. It seems the criers have been earning their iron of late, planting hope in your mission. You note, even in their jubilation, members of the crowd try to keep their distance from one another. Upon your arrival, you are met by a group of officials who quickly usher away the mendicants, no doubt to be put straight to work, as the city can spare no time for rest. Without stopping, you break free from the crowd and head deeper into the city. The shadow of this plague seems to have grown since you left. The few people in the streets scuttle from one door to another, and everyone has scarves or handkerchiefs drawn tightly across their noses and mouths. You feel the temptation to quicken your steps, but resist. To give in to fear is to lose the battle, whether here or in the Deepwood. Your weariness doesn't ease until you see the sign of the broken oak swaying in the breeze. You have only been its owners for a few months and have actually lived in it for less than half the time. But with the ministrations of grey cane and bram, it has started to feel like a home. A few days' rest and some hearty meals see your injuries healing.
Instructions. All players remove all injury cards from their decks, return them to the bottom of the injury decks. Okay. That was, I guess, the best time to have a party wipe. Right before we heal everything. Cool.
An official from the Crown visits the inn during this time and dumps a sack of iron on the table for your aid to the city. By the size of the sack, it seems Verum may not be worth very much, but the man expresses regret that the king's coffers are currently strained by the plague. He also reminds you that the contract to retrieve the mendicants had been in obligatum, so it could not have been refused. A danger of the job, all free companies are required to accept such contracts when they are issued from the Raven Spire or the Crown itself. Refusal would have meant death at the hands of another 2 or 3 free companies sent to hunt you down.
Why do I get the feeling one of the later scenarios is going to have us hunt down a free company? Instructions. Each Oathsworn gains 5 iron. Okay, another 20. Well, we gained 20 from the Venerator plate that we had to give back, and 20 to start with. So we are over 100 iron. We are at 117 iron. That seems a lot. I need to go on a spending spree, get some curative in this shit.
The days continue to pass, one into the next.
Instructions. If you have the keyword Lena on your free company sheet, or if we do not, at the end of the last scenario, we did take Lena with us, so we do have the Lena keyword, so let's see what happens there.
Lena, the young girl who you rescued from the satyr's staff, remains afflicted by a mysterious state of slumber. With seemingly no injuries, the healers are at a loss as to what the cause may be. Finally, one night, you hear stirring from a room. Opening the door, you find her writhing in bed. The commotion draws the rest of your company as you try to restrain her, to stop her from hurting herself. The moment you touch her, her eyes burst wide open and she unleashes a terrifying scream. Dark light pours from Lena's eyes and mouth as it did when she was tied to the satyr's staff. You dive for cover.
Instructions. Each Oathsworn perform a survival check at difficulty 4. All who fail lose a hit point. You'll see this? There we go, finally. Okay. Oh, we get a 1 redraw on survival checks. That's good, because we just got bushcraft last one. So, let us do it. I think we're just going to roll 3 whites. Oh, I need to get my base dice for this. I'll be right back. Let's get to rolling. Okay. First, we're going to let Mimatade go first. See what we get. Mimatade gets a 3. He's going to use the 1 reroll to hopefully get a 4. He gets the 4, so he's good. Next, Bear. Bear gets. Easily passes. Ranger gets another easy pass. And Kerr, last but certainly not least. Oof. We get a 2. We do get a reroll. Come on, Kerr, you can do it. No, you cannot. Kerr will take a point of damage. Okay, so let's see what happens after that.
Energies capable of necrotizing flesh lash out, throwing the room into ruins. As quickly as it began, the eruption subsides. Lena holds her hands over her eyes, momentarily vulnerable. If that happens again in a crowded area, many could die. You owe this girl for what she did in the Satyr's realm, but does that debt involve risking your life and the lives of others?
I believe it does. So we have 2 choices, either kill Lena or try to calm her. We're going to try to calm the mystical girl with evil dark powers.
As you slowly approach her, you ask if she remembers you or anything that happened in the realm of madness. She seems to relax a bit as she tries to piece everything together. The clearest memory she has is of 2 huge eyes she saw in the woods that lured her away from a village. She tells you how she felt drawn to them as they called her deeper and deeper into the forest. Aside from that memory, everything else feels like a half-remembered dream to her, or a jumble of random moments. Her only other recollection is feeling completely powerless against the beast's command while tied to that staff. The thought triggers a fresh batch of memories and immediately reduces the girl to tears.
Okay, we have 2 choices. We can console Lena and tell her you will protect her, or give her space but tell Lena she must leave in the morning. We're not going to put this girl out on the street by herself. We are going to console her and tell her we're going to protect her. Instructions. All Oathsworn gain a redraw token. That's nice.
You place a gentle hand on her shoulder. The contact is all it takes for her to fling her arms around you as if you were the wire road itself. After a long moment, Lena gathers herself. I can still feel it inside me like worms in my stomach. How do I keep it from coming out again? She asks. You tell her you do not know how, but you promise you will be there to protect her if it does. You look at the charred gashes in the wall caused by the explosion of darklight. A part of you wonders what you may have just gotten yourself into.
Instructions. Gain ally core 21 leader. Okay, cool. Add City Event core 31 to your event deck, and Deepwood 33. Cool. This will help make up for the tracker we just killed off in the last scenario. Also, here is Lena's card. She's a lot older than I thought she was. I thought she was like a 6-year-old girl. This girl's like 20. Her ability is Dark Light Outburst. Once per encounter, your attack becomes an attack, range 5, chain, range 2, max 4 targets. Okay then, let's continue with the story. Instructions. Not instructions, we have a choice. If we have the Mute Boy as an ally or not. We do not.
Nights later, the inn is packed, and it seems like half of Verum is crammed into the Broken Oak. Apparently word has spread that this area of the city is considered to be relatively plague-free. You settle into your usual table, and the evening's conversation turns to the origin of the unknown horrors you have encountered upon leaving Verum. Midge's legs swing as he sits on one of the beams above you, occasionally pelting you with nutshells and swiping pieces of bread or cheese from your plates. Suddenly, the main door swings open and a hush sweeps across the bar. You look towards the entrance and see a cloaked figure, wielding a raven-headed staff as he enters the inn. Cups and utensils clatter as patrons abandon their tables and quickly exit the common room. Bram cleans the glass he is holding even more vigorously, trying to conceal his nervous hands. "What is a watcher doing here?" Greycane whispers as he turns his head away in deference. "There is little in this world that would warrant the presence of a watcher in your establishment. They rarely leave the Raven's Spire or the King's side." Looking through the open door, you also see a pair of glowing eyes, taller than any normal human, smouldering in the rainy night behind the cloaked figure. You are no stranger to the stories of the automatons who stand guard at the gates of the Raven's Spire, their massive bulk given life by unknown powers. Never before have you seen an iron golem close up until this moment. You approach the watcher tentatively. The hooded face turns to you. So do the dimly glowing eyes behind. A sense of power exudes from them that has you mentally checking your company's position in the room. The watcher's voice, when it finally speaks, rasps across the room. "I have come bearing a contract for you, Oathsworn, in obligatum. Your recent successes have earned you much trust with the crown, and a matter has arisen that requires only the most dependable assets. Glim Hollow, an amber harvesting village, has gone silent. You will investigate the reason why. If they are besieged, free them. If they are rebellious, tame them. If they are dead, avenge them." In obligatum again. Most free companies see no more than one in a lifetime, but you have had two back-to-back. You have heard whispers of free companies being chosen by the Raven Spire for special attention. Every contract survived, only proving the value of the company and increasing their chance of being chosen for the next vital mission. For these unlucky souls, the cycle was usually only broken in one way: death. Casting the thought aside, you focus on the task before you.
Okay, instructions. Because we did so well in the last scenario. No, really, we did so well. Instructions. You may ask 2 questions.
You approach the watcher.
Shut up. Okay. We can ask the watcher for more information about Glimhowl, ask about the iron golem behind him, ask how his cloak remains dry when it's rain outside, ask if he will compensate you for scaring your patrons. Oh, Lord. Well, let's be professional first. We're going to ask about Glim Hollow.
Glim Hollow is one of the longest surviving outposts in the Deepwood, not more than a day's journey from here. It is responsible for harvesting much of the amber used throughout Verum. If the supply line is not re-established soon, the city will face a cold, dark winter.
Okay, we can pick a different question. We're going to be a little bit of a smart aleck and ask him if he'll compensate for scaring off our patrons.
The watcher stares at you. "That which has been given can be easily taken away," he coldly rasps, a not so subtle reminder of where the title to the Broken Oak came from.
Fine, be that way.
From the shadow of his cowl, the watcher studies your faces for a long moment. Seemingly satisfied, he continues. "There is a second matter which also requires your attention in Glim Hollow, Oathsworn. One that is not to be spoken of beyond this room, nor will it be found in your contract. Amber serves many vital purposes in the kingdom, beyond mere lamplight, many other uses. A rare form of it has been found in Glim Hollow. The village has used its possession of this amber supply to resist past inspection, but it is time they returned to the fold. You must gain access to this village one way or another and return the amber to us. No one can know of this purpose." The watcher's eyes narrow, beckoning your attention. "But be warned. Great care must be taken not to touch the gemstones with bare flesh. The effects would be rather unpleasant." The watcher places a sealed scroll on the bar top, undoubtedly your contract, and curiously sets a small metal rod beside it. Without another word, he slips out of the main entrance, leaving the enormous golem behind.
Okay, we have a pet now, a golem. So we can choose one, go to the items in the board top, or take a closer look at the golem. Well, it's not every day we get to see a golem up close and personal, so let's take a poke at it, shall we?
The iron golem is massive, easily weighing more than a full-grown bull. Its broad feet are all that keeps it from sinking into the mud. Thick arms and thicker legs, forged from dark iron, mimic the human form, only swollen to gigantic proportions. Its icy white eyes stare blankly from a featureless head, with a metal-plated gag buckled securely over its mouth.
Okay, we can unbuckle the muzzle, go to the items, or prepare for our journey. I'm not going to tempt fate with this thing and unbuckle the muzzle, so we're just going to look on the items in the port top.
When you pick up the metal rod, the glowing eyes of the iron golem immediately turn toward you, as if awaiting your command. A control rod, Greycane says, with awe, peeking over your shoulder. The rod is light, barely heavier than a coin, and made of a single piece of strange metal. Within the sealed scroll, you find a basic set of instructions on how to command the golem, followed by a single warning. Do not remove the muzzle.
Well, that just makes me want to remove the muzzle anymore. Just kidding. We're going to prepare for our journey now. Two options, if we have Lysine or not. We do have Lysine. She's still around.
Just as you prepare for the journey, Lysine comes down a ladder she has put up that goes onto the roof of the oak. She has a bundle in her arms. I heard we're moving out again, so soon already. I have harvested the first batch of herbs early for this. She hands you the bundle. It is full of various healing herbs that Lysine has been growing on the roof of the broken oak. Every bit of space is made use of in the city, and your tavern is no different. With thanks, you accept the gift.
Instructions. Gain 2 curatives and place them in your injury deck. Nice. We definitely won't need it. Nope, because we're just so good at this game. Not like we had a full wipe last scenario. More instructions. You may start a trade with the banksmith and apothecary. Okay. Let us go with the banksmith first. See what he has. And let me see. Okay. So let's see what we got here in the common item deck for 9. We have a bludgeon, which is something we got from the last scenario, which is currently equipped on the Pentient. A pilgrim staff, nobody we have can use it. A kite shield, that's always nice. We don't have any more shields from Imitade. Having one extra might be nice. Ignore the damage loss from colliding with something when you suffer knockback. That could have saved us in the last scenario. A one-handed sword, gain 1 damage against an attack, which is nice. Banded mail, which also went to Mimatade in the last scenario. A dirk, which went to Kerr. Oilskin wrappings, which I just threw into the bag. We got that last one. Amber nugget, if you have 3 or less battle flow oral cords once. A ring, at the start of each encounter, gain a battle flow token. If adjacent to another Oathsworn, gain 1 animus. That's interesting. A Bardeshi, is that what? Yeah, that's what Bear had from that scenario. A double axe. When you're critical during an attack that hits, draw 2 additional cords rather than 1. That's very nice. I kind of like the range, though. And a water skin. Gain 2, or place a token in an adjacent hex. What the hell does that do? What the hell does that do? Here it is. Fire and Water Town. Encounter page 9. Oh, I can't see. That's a water tile. The water tile costs 2 movement to move into. In the case of large characters, this applies if any hex of the character moves into it. A character only suffers this penalty from each water hex once per turn. Waters are not removed after being moved on to. Enemies that only have one movement remaining will stop when they reach a water tile. It's whatever. But the 2 enemies is nice. So yeah, we're going to spend... Everything costs 9. Good lord. We're going to spend 18 to buy 2 things. Buy the ring. And buy this thing. We're going to give the ring to Mimatare, and yeah, he's going to put the whatever this is called in the bag. And the ring, the water skin. What is that? Yeah, the water skin we'll give to Ranger. He currently does not have a relic, item, whatever you want, gear. So that seems good. And do I buy the shield? Sure, why not? I'll take the shield, and what should our shield do? Gaining power to an attack. We'll just put this in the bag for now. Okay, and the Apothecarian, if we'd like to. What does that do? We're going to put 2, 15, 16, 17, 18, and put 2 curatives into the deck. Okay. And that is that. We're down to 55 gold. We had over 100. Went on a little shopping spree. Got some curatives. It's all good, baby.
The streets are still a soggy mess as you make your way to Verum's main gate. The few merchants and servants out at this hour give you a wide berth and whisper blessings or prayers to ward off evil spirits as you pass. Gears grind, opening the massive city gate just a sliver, barely enough to squeeze your frames through the doors. It seems no one is taking any chances tonight. The guards on the wall bid you farewell with a nod as you step once again into the Deepwood. According to the Watcher, Glim Hollow should be only a day's march away, but with the paths along the wire road drenched from ceaseless rainfall, your progress slows to a crawl. Each of your steps sinks in mud up to your knees, and the entire party is waterlogged. The iron golem, however, seems to have no trouble at all wading through the mire. The treacherous footing inevitably causes delays, and you are forced to make camp as twilight begins to fall. The cold, wet night drags on for what feels like an eternity. The sole distraction from your discomfort is in watching the firelight play across the black hull of the iron golem as it stands statuesque in the mud with its haunting stare. The last half of the journey is uneventful by Deepwood standards. No terrors threaten you, and there are no monsters to bar your way. If anything, it feels though the hellish wood is holding its breath, waiting. You sense the village is near when you begin to pass piles of smoking debris and discarded bones along the path. Perhaps an amber supply run did not reach its destination. You press on through the sickly trees until you finally arrive before the sturdy, well-maintained walls of Glimhollow.
Instructions. Open mystery envelope E and place its content in the center play. Place a free company marker on location 18. Place a chapter 9 time track beneath the map. Take the path A card. Okay, so this is that. We're on... get this tree out the way. We're on location 18. I was not expecting another city map like this. Is ridiculous. Anyway, let's continue.
Veins of amber weave their way through the wooden planks of the village's main gate, not an uncommon sight for a small village this far from a proper city, as Deepwood timber is often the only building resource one has available to them. The passageway is barely wide enough for a 2-ox cart to fit through, and the gate itself is set against a heavy ridge of stone, preventing it from being easily battered down or forced open. Thick, horizontal bands of iron fortify the gate doors, a clear sign that the designers knew what they were doing. As you examine the gate further, you notice that the iron bands are heavily rusted and the wood beneath is charred. This gate has clearly withstood several assaults in its days, and the countless teeth marks in its surface leave no doubt as to the nature of the assailants. Just then, You hear the sound of bowstrings being pulled taut. "Halt!" cries a voice. "No outsiders may enter, lest they draw the beast." You look up to see several guards on the parapet, with bows trained directly on you. The guards appear nervous, but at such close range there is little chance of them missing their mark. Brandishing the oath marks on your wrists, you explain that you come by order of the king, and promise them that if their bows are not lowered immediately, the beasts of the Deepwood will be the least of their worries. The guards unconsciously begin to lower their bows, then pause as they remember their orders. You can see they are about to draw again. They would draw against the oath mark. This is not how this should be going.
Okay, we have two choices. Threaten the guards or command your iron golem to break down the gates. I don't think we're going to start breaking shit this early. Let's just threaten them. I was hoping for something else other than just like threaten them or tearing the place down immediately, but we'll just threaten them to start. Instructions. Perform a threatening check, difficulty 7, 6 if you have an Ursas. We do have the Ursas. So let's see how that goes. Difficulty 6. Good lord. We'll roll 4 dice, see what we get. Bear is... Oh, we don't need these anymore. Yeah, it's fine. Come on, bear. B. Let out a feral roar. We got 2 crits. Let's see how that rolls out before we spend one of our redraw tokens. 1. Well, if we reroll and we don't get a blank, it's going to succeed. This seems fine. Just spend all my tokens right away. Okay, we succeed. Let's see what happens.
You nearly order the golem forward, but stay the command at the last moment. They are fools to raise weapons against the mark, but the Deepwood is a capricious place and fond of tricks. Who knows what they have seen from those walls? You raise your voice, and using the full weight of the pact, remind the guards of the inevitability of their circumstance. You will gain entry to the village one way or another. The guards hesitate. Their eyes flit from you to the golem and back again. You can see the conflict, and you see the moment to assure them. "We're here to kill your monster," you say. From within the Deepwood, something groans, fell and horrifying. The guards visibly shrink back, but whatever it is, it seems to convince them, at last, to allow your entry. One disappears from the wall, and a moment later the gate creaks open, its mighty hinges groaning.
Instructions. All Oathsworn gain a Battleflow token. Okay. I would have preferred a redraw or an empowered, but hey, Battleflow is also nice.
You are welcomed by a crowd of suspicious faces and the guard captain, who quickly orders the gates shut again. The villagers gathered round the gatehouse keep their distance, yet there is an odd defiance in their eyes that you are not used to seeing from the peasantry. Something seems off. Approaching the captain, you ask him to take you to the leader of the village. You need to find out why this village has gone dark.
Instructions. Place your free company location on marker 2. Okay. We went all the way on the opposite side of the board. Okay. More instructions. Add a time token to the time track.
You are led to the mayor's house near the edge of the village. It's a very large home and in rather good condition, but far more simplistic than you would expect from the lord of a town. All the buildings here boast a sturdy construction, and you notice glimmers of light reflecting off the dark wooden planks of their doors and walls. As you pass, you realize streaks of amber run throughout each plank of wood, much like the main gate. You have never seen an entire town built strictly from Deepwood lumber before. Perhaps the mayor can shed some light on this peculiar design choice. A tall woman with red hair opens the door to greet you and introduces herself as Elia, the housekeeper, as she welcomes you inside. You are escorted to a library not far from the home's main entrance where the mayor awaits. He is a gaunt man with shifty eyes and hands that never seem to stop moving. His fidgety nature seems to be more akin to restlessness than nerves. Nevertheless, he greets you warmly as he tugs on a bell pull. You hear the ring faintly from another room. "You are welcome, Oathsworn. You must be famished from your travels," he says, tapping his fingers along the back of a chair. "My kitchen will bring you food and drink at once while we wait. Please, tell me what brings you to our settlement." As you explain your mission to see the amber supply lines reopened, he informs you of a creature that has been plaguing the village. It has breached the walls more than once and strikes at anyone that tries to pass beyond the walls. We have lost dozens of haulers and guards already.
We have two choices if we have clue token 1 or not. We do not, so we'll do that option. Instructions. Perform a spot check, difficulty 6. Add 1 to the result if Kerr is with you. We do have a Kerr. So, and we just have rerolls on their survival, right? Yeah. So basically it's a 5. We're going to let Kerr do it. See what we get. Should Kerr roll 3? Yeah, Kerr's just going to roll 3. And let's roll. Okay. Oh, we got a crit. That's 5. So that's 4. So if we get a 1, we get this. We got it. Good job, Kerr, you eagle-eyed man.
As the mayor speaks, you notice the housekeeper, Elia, peeking round the corner of a doorframe, clearly eavesdropping. Not the actions of a loyal housekeeper, by any means.
Instructions. Gain clue token 5. Dun, dun, dun. The game is afoot.
It's hard to tell whether it is your presence or the topic of conversation that makes the mayor so uneasy, but when you ask him for more information about the monster, his voice trembles slightly, clearly nervous now. "It attacks on the eve of each new moon," he informs you. "It comes to feed, and then it just disappears again. Tomorrow is such a moon. I have not seen it myself," he says, walking to the entrance of his manor. "But the villagers and guards can tell you more." As you listen to the man, you cannot shake the feeling that there is something else hidden somewhere beneath the surface here, a secret they wish to keep from you. Time will tell. As for the moment, it appears you will need to deal with this monster soon enough. "Honestly, I'm quite relieved to have your free company here to help in these dire times," the mayor adds. "I can assure you, once this matter is dealt with, we will be able to reopen the supply lines to Verum at once."
Why are you keeping secrets from us? We're just trying to kill your monsters for you. Okay, we can choose 1. Talk to the housekeeper, which we can only do if we have clue token 5, which we have, or go to the tavern. Let's see what the housekeeper is poking around about.
You thank the mayor for his time and tell him you'll see yourselves out. A passing glance back toward the man as you leave the library finds an anxious smile on his face. Elia, the housekeeper, waits by the front door to bid you a good evening, and, as you are about to exit, you confront her about her eavesdropping on your conversation with the mayor. "I beg your pardon, my lords. You must be mistaken. I was assisting in the kitchen while you were with the mayor. I would never do such a thing as you suggest. You must be so tired after such a difficult day." She returns your stare, and a moment of silence makes it clear you won't get much from her without using more aggressive tactics. You don't want the people of the village to see you interrogating one of their own, yet you know what you saw. As if reading your thoughts, Elia smiles and bids you good night.
Instructions. Place your free company marker on location 14. Add a token to the time track. Let me do some stuff, huh? Like, give me options.
Having made good progress, and with the hour drawing late, you retire to the village tavern. The inn is rather unremarkable by most standards. The one thing that does stand out is the eerie lighting in the room, created by the reflection of the lit sconces against the amber-laced timber used for the walls, floors, and every piece of furniture in the establishment. After paying for the night's stay, an old hunchback of a woman greets you curtly and waves a crooked thumb toward the stairs, directing you up to the bedrooms. Despite resistance from the tavern's proprietor, you decide to bring the iron golem into the inn and station it outside your room. As you stow your gear for the night, one of you discovers a piece of parchment on a bedside table. Curious, you open the paper and read it. "Meet me at the apothecary tomorrow. I need to speak with you. Zella." The remainder of the evening is spent downstairs in the common room by the bar, passing the time in conversation, much like you would be back in the Broken Oak. The atmosphere here, however, is far different, as all eyes seem to repeatedly find their way back to you throughout the evening.
Instructions. Perform a spot check, difficulty 8. Add the amount of clues you have to the result. We only have one clue, so we need a 7. Good lord. Let's just do it. Who will do it? Who's got the most rerolls? Should I do an empowered for this? We're just going to roll 4 dice. Oh, we have 4 dice here. And these were good 4 dice, so we're going to try this again. We're going to say Kerr is doing this for reroll purposes. Yellow. Don't even need it. Good job, Kerr. We should just have the rogue do all the spot checks, I swear.
Before a round of drinks is delivered to your table, one of you glimpses a servant drop something into each of your mugs. You quickly inform the group, as the act can only mean one thing: an ambush. You signal your companions to get ready to leave. The common room is a bloody place to be ambushed in, and you can only hope they want to take you while you sleep. Not wanting to tip your hand, you pretend to drink from the tainted mugs and feign you are none the wiser. Eventually, you rise from the table and retire for the evening. Luckily, no one moves to hinder your ascent up the stairs. With the golem stationed outside your room, the decision is made to sleep in your armour, and the rotating watch is established. Every free company man learns to sleep, knowing they may die in the night, and this evening will be no different. Your suspicions are confirmed in the early morning hours, when a tap on your shoulder wakes you. A silent hand gesture from your companion directs your attention towards the floor, where a hatch concealed under a rug slowly opens and a dark shape begins to emerge. This would-be assassin never stood a chance, as one of your blades finds their throat. Suddenly, a voice shouts from below, and more concealments burst open in the walls and ceiling as a gang of cloaked figures rushes into the room with daggers drawn. All pretense of stealth gone, the room erupts into a close-quarters melee.
Goddamn, how many people are in this damn place? Instructions. Perform a round of combat against defense 6. This is annoying. So, Mimatari goes first. He's got 2 yellows. We'll say he's got a white as well. No empower, so we're just going to roll it. That's a miss. Is it worth a reroll? There's a 30% chance that we get a 3 that we need. Otherwise, it's a waste of a reroll. Yellow, we're going to do it. Okay, so it's this one. 30% chance. Let's go. It's a miss. Okay, Mimatari takes a damage. Ow. He gains an empower token, which is nice, though. Next is Bear, rolling a yellow and a red. And a white, too, because why not? Oh, Lord. You can't see? Ba-ba. Da-da-da. Okay. A crit 3. Can he do it? I hate this game sometimes. We're going to reroll. Yeet. Oh, that was just barely. So Bear's good. Next is Ranger with the black dice. What's the black do? 3, 3, 4, 5. Ooh. Okay, we'll just do a black and a white for a ranger. No, let's do 2 whites just to be safe. Wow. Wow. We're just going to let Ranger take it because he stays in the back a lot, so he probably shouldn't take a whole lot of damage. And then Kerr, 2 yellows and a red. Just going to roll it. Terrible, Kerr. Okay, redraw. Kerr stays in the front, so we need him. God damn it. Okay. He's at 4 now. When did he take a point of damage? Oh, because of that thing. I'm going to use another redraw. It's probably a bad idea, but... Okay, he gets it. So he's at 5. Okay, that's a round of combat. Could y'all stop attacking us when we're trying to help you?
The fight turns in your favor. Recognizing their inevitable defeat, several of the figures break and retreat. One, not being able to reach the exit, turns and dives for the window, crashing through it. You notice the control rod for the golem clutched in their hand. Without pause, you dive after them.
Oh, we have instructions. Choose an Oathsworn to give chase. If the Oathsworn performs a chase check, difficulty 5, add 1 to the result the ranger has chosen. After the draw, you may spend 1 to animus token to add 1 to the result. So, we can either do Ranger or Mimatade because they both have a... Ranger gets a +1, and Mimatade has the Animus token for another +1. Difficulty 5. Yeah, we're just going to let Ranger do it. 3. We're actually going to empower this because I do not want them having their hands on my mystical golem. That is my pet. So we only need 4. Wait. Only need 4, though. Do I risk empowering this for a 4? I don't think I do for 4. I think we just roll 3 and potentially use up all our rerolls. Okay. I probably should empower it. Watch. Okay, we got it. 4. We got it. We even crit. Let's see what the crit gives us. Nothing, but we do get 5, which is all we needed. Y'all did not even see that. Boom. Anyway.
Charging through the pouring rain, you outpace the cloaked figure and quickly tackle them to the ground. Muddy fists fly and fingers scratch at your eyes as you grapple with the thief. Your well-honed battle reflexes kick in when a dagger suddenly emerges from beneath the cloak and you roll to one side, out of melee range. With your arms raised in a defensive posture, you brace for an incoming knife thrust, but instead see the blade inexplicably slash across the assailant's own neck, ending the struggle. As their lifeblood pours from the gaping wound, you get your first good look at your attacker's face. It is a woman. What madness is this, that she would kill herself rather than be taken captive? In the palm of one of her lifeless hands, you find the control rod snapped in 2. Before she died, she managed to break it, along with any chance of you using the golem again. As you gaze down at the body, the rest of the free company appear at your side and informs you that the assassins have retreated back into the night and that the golem has gone dormant.
Really? I just got the toy and you broke it. God damn it. Instructions. All Oathsworn give a combat token of their choice. Nice, nice, nice. I think everyone's going to get a redraw token. Yeah. Redraw seems very good. It turns misses into hits, so yeah.
With the danger seemingly over for now, you look more closely at the woman's corpse in the hopes of finding a clue as to who these people are and why they attacked you.
Instructions. Perform a search check, difficulty 4. Okay. Kurt, you're very good at searching and looking through dead bodies, so we're going to have you do this one for us. Do it. That's good. That's very good. Kerr can pick through a dead body like nobody's business, let me tell you.
You find no letters or any other belongings on the woman's corpse. However, as you investigate further, you notice a strange lump beneath the skin of her arm, surrounded by a jagged scar. Using her knife, you lance the bulge and find a bloody sliver of white amber gemstone planted beneath the skin. You have never seen anyone do something like this to themselves. Strangely, as you study the stone, you swear you can hear a voice whisper at the edge of your mind. Is this what the Watcher wanted you to find? With the search complete, you return to the tavern and find the establishment empty. Only the slumped form of the golem remains. Even the innkeeper has fled. With the control rod broken, you will not be forcing your way into many other places in the village. Someone does not want you making inquiries.
Oh, we can still force our way into places. That's what we have Bear for. Instructions. Gain clue token 3. Okay, we got another clue token, which is nice.
Confident the cloaked figures won't attack again tonight, you try to use the last few hours of twilight to rest. Morning comes without further disruption, and after heading downstairs to scrape together enough food for a meal in the empty tavern, you weigh your options. There is something more than just a Deepwood creature casting a shadow over this village. It takes a particular type of zealotry or madness to attack a fully armed free company. And equally strange is the fact that the tavern has been completely abandoned. Something is very wrong in Glimhollow. Your orders were to reopen the amber supply lines and search for evidence of the white amber the Watcher is so keen to get his hands on. The mayor did seem sincere in his desire to reopen the routes to Verum, but to do that, you first need to find and kill the alleged creature. That said, how secure would a supply line be with a roving band of cloaked assassins loose? Perhaps there is a connection between last night's attack and the white amber. Either way, you suspect you won't need to go far to find answers in this village. Things tend to find their way to you around here.
Okay, we have instructions. 2 paths lay before you. Do you investigate the strange happenings in the village, or do you focus on the hunt and find information about the beast? You know you will not have time to do both. No, we never do we? Fuck it, we're gonna worry about the beast. Like, that we came here to do a job. We're going to focus on the beast, and everything else just takes second priority because we just got our asses handed to us last scenario. So, yeah.
Confident the cloaked figures, you decide it's best to avoid the drama unfolding in this village and focus on the specific orders in your contract, which is to reopen the amber supply lines. The fastest way to accomplish that is to find out what this creature is and kill it. Information regarding the most recent attack would be useful, and with any luck you may be able to identify a weakness in the creature that you can exploit or at least determine where it comes from. With less than a day until the coming of the beast, you set to your task.
Instructions. You must gather as many clues as you can before the time track trigger. Lose all clue tokens you have. Place location 7, 8. Okay, hold on. 7, 8, which is houses. How very specific. 10, which is the Amber Reserve. 11, which is the wall. 12, unnamed. 13, the Apothecary. And 17, another unnamed. Take the Path B card. Okay.
You decide it's...
Okay, and we can go to any of those locations. Let's go to the wall, I guess. See what's over there. Maybe Eddard Stark's over there. No, not Eddard Stark. Jon Snow. I watched Game of Thrones. I know what I'm talking about.
As you approach the walls, you find a guard squad manning the rampart. It seems word of your entrance to the village has got around, and this group shows you more respect than the last one. As you question them about the attacks, they point to where the creature has breached the palisade to your left. It broke through like it was nothing, one of the guards informs you. Went straight into the amber warehouse and onto the town square after that, surely to eat people. You press them further for details on the creature itself, but the guards give the usual vague answers of those uninitiated in hunting the creatures of the Deepwood. You can discern that it was big and seemed to have no legs, though that is true of dozens of species on record. You are about to end your conversation with the guards when one pipes up. There was something strange when it went to the town square, though, he adds. There were barrels of salted meat over there. When it slithered into them, I saw the thing recoil in pain and head off in the other direction after that.
Are we fighting a giant slug? Instructions. Perform a reasoning check, difficulty 3. Okay, this should be nothing. Who is the most reasonable? Me, Matati, of course. A 3 check. It should be easy as lion, right? 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 Yes. Easy. Okay.
Your experience has taught you some creatures have extreme reactions to certain substances, particularly salt. If you had to guess, it was the salt in the meat that caused a burn of some kind to the beast's flesh. This is an important piece of information that may come in handy later.
I know it was only difficulty 3, but I actually had to do a test for that. Like, come on. Instructions. Place location token 9. Okay. I don't even get a clue token for that. Thank you for that. We will go to location 9 and see if we can't buy some salted meat or salted nuts.
You are surprised to find the town square somewhat lively for such a small village. A few market stalls have been set up, offering food and drink items, while others display crafts or jewellery, as well as some tinctures. One very common theme amongst the wares is the pervasive use of amber gems. Based on the information you gathered from the wall guards, the creature seems to have an aversion to salt. The substance may even harm it. Perhaps, if you can acquire a barrel of salt, you can lay a trap for the creature. As a free company, you are well within your authority to confiscate the salt from the villagers. However, if you hope to stay in their good graces and maintain some semblance of cooperation, it may be in your best interest to purchase the salt from one of the merchants.
Okay, we have 3 options. Buy the salt only if we have 20 iron, which is almost half of our remaining stockpile. We can requisition the salt or choose a location to go to. You know what? We've been trying to help these people, and how do we get repaid? Our toy gets destroyed, and they send assassins in the night. We're just going to requisition this salt and be done with this shit.
You manage to find a merchant with enough salt to use for the trap and explain to the woman that you are requisitioning a barrel under your authority as a free company. She is visibly annoyed, but knows she has no choice. As you leave with the barrel, you feel the angry stares from the other merchants in the square. Perhaps they will look at you differently when you return with the monster's head.
They fucking better. Instructions. Gain clue token 3. Okay, now we got a clue token.
You manage...
Okay, what else do we want to do? I guess go to location 8, the houses. See if they did anything over there. I could check the Amber Reserve. It did go there first, it said. And we do kind of need the Amber Reserve. Yeah, we're going to check the Amber Reserve. I talked myself out of it.
The warehouse used to store the Amber Reserve is the largest building in the village and is the place where all the amber shipments are prepared for their journey to Verum. As you enter, a clerk tries to bar your way, but one look quickly makes her reconsider stopping you. You step inside, trailed by the woman, and find row upon row of amber and a line of carts arranged against one wall. Please, my lords, be careful, touch nothing. The woman anxiously petitions you. Most of the wealth of the village is in this warehouse, and there is enough explosive material to ensure none of you leaves this place should you trigger a reaction. Making sure to tread lightly, you head deeper in.
Okay, we have instructions. Perform a search check, difficulty 5. We're going to let Kerr handle this. See how well he does. He's been very good at searching stuff right now. So, 4 or 3 dice. 4. And roll. We'll take the F on that one. We do not find. We fail that check. Instructions. Add a time token to the time track. Annoying.
As you investigate the warehouse, you come to a large hole in the wall where something huge has obviously broken through. The shelving in this area is in tatters, and it seems as though something has partially dissolved the wood and stone. Only the tiniest chips of amber can be found in the debris. Is it possible the creature broke into the reserves to feed upon the amber?
I mean, probably seems reasonable. Instructions. Gain clue token 2. See, we just gain a clue token from that.
A search of the back of the warehouse uncovers a second storage area tucked away, out of sight. The amber on these shelves is unlike anything you've seen before, as it glows a brilliant white rather than the familiar orange. This must be the mysterious amber the Watcher was so interested in. He also gave you an important warning about the strange material. You pause for a moment to try to recall what it was.
Yeah, it's don't fucking touch it. Instructions. Choose an Oathsworn to pick up the amber. What did the Watcher tell you? Write down the amber. Don't touch it with your bare skin. I'm not picking nobody to touch it. I guess Ranger. But don't touch it with your bare hand. I don't know. Not to touch it with your bare skin. That was close enough. I don't care.
You suddenly remember the Watcher specifically told you not to touch the stone with bare skin. Otherwise, there would be unpleasant effects. Using a scrap of fabric, you collect a fist-sized chunk of stone and carefully wrap it up. As you hold the mysterious rock, a feeling of deep anguish washes over you, and you swear you hear a faint screaming from somewhere off in the distance. This substance is clearly far more than just your average hunk of amber. The resin exudes enormous potency. The thoughts give you a moment's pause. Perhaps it would not be in everyone's best interest if a substance like this were to be in the hands of the Watchers. Who knows what they would do with the stone? The contract the Watcher forced you into only requires you to discover the reason behind Glimhollow's recent silence and re-establish the flow of amber back to Verum. There is no mention of recovering this material. On the other hand, you are sure of a reward for completing this additional task, and no free company crosses the Raven's Spire without consequence. Would they find out if you disposed of the stone?
We're not taking any chances on this. We're taking a chunk of white amber back to the Watcher.
You place the wrapped hunk of amber into your satchel and make sure not to touch it again.
Instructions. Write the keyword white on your free company sheet. Oh no. I'm sure nothing bad's going to happen from that. Choose a location to go to. I guess we'll go visit the houses, see how they held up. Location 8.
The homes in this area of the village are of much higher quality than the others you've seen. Amber streaks decorate the houses and doors here in what appears to be deliberate design choices, if not as an outright symbol of status. You've heard that some villages attempt to establish equality in their settlements, being free to do so, far from the rule of Verum. This village is not one of them. In your conversations with the people in this area, you learn most of them are involved with the amber trade between Glimhollow and Verum. According to them, the disruptions caused by the beast have significantly impacted their livelihood. By the look of their homes and the quality of life the villagers in this part of town still have, you do not get the impression they have much to worry about.
Okay, we can go to location 7, 12, 13, and 17. 13 is the apothecary. I don't think we need to go there. And the rest are unmarked, which is Annoying. I'll go to 7 because that's the closest to the town square. That's probably where the beast crashed through the wall. So we'll go to 7 next.
It is not hard to find the spot where the beast last breached the village. A large section of the wall has been collapsed inwards, and a mismatch of stone, wood, and even furniture has been haphazardly stuffed into the gap as a temporary barrier. Judging by the size of the breach, the beast must be huge.
Of course the beast is huge. They've all been huge. Instructions. Perform a search check, difficulty 3. Okay. Another hopefully easy one. We'll give it to Mimatade. Got it. Just barely. Keep your eyes open, Mimatade.
At first, it appears the walls were battered down, but as you look more closely, it also appears the stone has been melted. A search of the ground at the base of the wall uncovers a trail leading off into the Deepwood. You may be able to track this thing down after all.
Instructions. Place location token 3, which is out in the Deepwood.
At first,
Yeah.
it appears...
Okay, so... And the next one is going to cover the extra unique item, so we're not getting a unique item from this. Going to the houses was a mistake. We will go to location 3 and see what's out there.
You follow the trail into the Deepwood. Not far in, the ground gives way to a large body of water, a fetid swamp. You know better than to wade in there and keep your distance from the edge. Walking along the bank, you study the water's surface for signs of the creature. As you do so, a strange acid smell fills your nostrils.
Instructions. Each Oathsworn performs a spot check, difficulty 5. All have to succeed. Okay, let's do it. Difficulty 5. And it's survival we have the redraw on, right? Yes. So no redraws for us. Mimatade. You are 1 off. Do I do a reroll for this? Let's see how everybody else does. Bear. Terrible. Ranger. Ranger's good. And Kerr. Kerr is super, so just the... Now the question is, do I spend a reroll? Yeah, we're going to spend a reroll for Mimatade. Are you kidding? It was so close. So close. Fine, Mimatade and Bear both fail. Instructions. Each Oathsworn who failed loses a hit point. Of course we do.
You look down and realize what it is. Something like mucus has mixed with the mud here, and it is eating away at your boots. You throw them off, kicking, and watch as, over the course of the next few minutes, they dissolve. You realize this is the creature's trail. Whatever the creature is, it's vitriolic.
Instructions. Gain clue token 1. Okay. And this will cause us to break a story. We'll have to go to story 18.2 in the storybook. I'm not sure if the app does that automatically for us. But we will go to...
You look down.
12, 13, or 17. 12 and 17 are basically the same thing. Like, there is no difference here. We'll go 17. See if that does something.
As the daylight fades, you recall the mayor telling you the creature always seems to strike on the eve before a new moon. If you hope to be prepared for the coming battle, you will need to get started now. Walking through the village, you notice some people have chosen to barricade themselves in the amber mine.
Okay, if we have 1 or more clue tokens or not, we do have more than 1 clue token, so let's see what that does.
You feel confident as you make final preparations for the fight.
Instructions. All Oathsworn gain a redraw token. Okay, then if we have 2 or more clue tokens, which we do, we have 3 clue tokens.
Piecing together what information you have gathered thus far, there are few creatures that exhibit the traits this creature does, and the lack of mountains in this area and the time of day of the attack eliminates the other options. That leads you to one conclusion. You are facing a mollusk. These foul things are vitriolic amber eaters that will melt the bones of your body.
Instructions. Reveal the encounter special rule boards. Nice. Let's see what this is. Encounter 9. Okay, there we go. What the hell is that thing? more Nurgle figurines. God damn, that thing's disgusting. Okay. That's got a lot of hit points. That actually looks very close to what the token they're using is. Nice job there, guys. And the rules are, it has 5 defense, 1 red, 5 yellows. Good lord. Toxic Ooze. Place a green on the game board underneath the center of the mollusk. Corrosive Toxin. The poison represents the corrosive toxin of the mollusk. Any Oathsworn ally that enters a hex with a poison token gains a poison. Do not remove it from the board. For each poison a character has, reduce their defense by 1 to a minimum of 1. 3 if you're a companion. Track this change with a numbered tracker token. If the character ever loses their poison, their defense is restored. The mollusk is removed to all large toxic templates and poison. Purified by fire. If a character moves onto a fire, in addition to losing 1 hit point, they lose all of their poison. That's... oh, there's a lot of these things. What's fire do? We just had fucking water. Is it page 9? Counter page 9. If a character moves onto a fire tile, remove the tile from the board, and the character loses 1 hit point. Okay. Maybe we can do some push shenanigans and damage him a bit. Anyway, continuing on with the story.
With everything ready, you make your way to the northeast area of the village and get to work on setting the trap. Just within the wall, where it had come through before, a large pile of orange amber is placed, and above it you suspend the barrel of salt from a thick rope. With the preparations complete, you take up defensive positions and wait. Only moments pass before the alarm sounds. Guards shout orders to one another, and a few lose their nerve and run off towards the amber mines. The village wall begins to smoke, and it suddenly collapses inwards right before your eyes. An undulating mass of reeking acid flesh bursts into the village, melting rock and timber. It leaves a smoking trail of mucus in its wake. Your plan works, and, as it stops to feast on the amber, you yank on the rope. Salt rains down on the creature, and its skin begins to hiss as the substance burns through its moist body. It rears up in agony, and sensing you have the advantage, you charge into battle. This is going to get messy.
Yeah, probably is. Instructions. Mark the additional unique item on the... oh, we get it anyway. Nice. I guess that was just for Path A. Write the keyword salted on your free company sheet. Okay. If you have the mystery chest, okay, then... I was expecting to start with extra damage or some shit. Maybe lower his defense to get rid of some of his mic cubes. We just get salted. Fine. We do get an extra unique item, which is nice, I suppose. Then... encounter instructions after encounter, continue to the epilogue. Okay. Well, that is it for this episode. I will see you next time where I take down this thing. Hopefully. How are we going to set this up? Oh, perhaps... Ranger can probably thread the needle through here, but then it's like... then he's just trapped in here. I'm not sure if I want that. Or I could put them all... oh! Oh, it's the entire board, not just the one area. Whew. This is going to be fun. Or something. Anyway, until next time, take care.